Okay. 15 more minutes. 10 more minutes. No, 20 more minutes. Okay, 5C. Number one. From, oh, okay, not yet. Can you see the handout? Is it okay?
はい、見えます。
Right. Okay, then from partnership to strategic partnership. Now, comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. So at the beginning, it is just a partner, sincere and open partners acting together, advancing together. In 2002, when Non Dukman, Secretary General of the party, came to Japan, he had a meeting with Koizumi Junichiro, and the two leaders made a press statement, joint press release. In that document, they mentioned about this sincere and open partners. And this catchphrase, acting together, advancing together, is the catchphrase which Koizumi Junichiro loved. And on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries in 2003, various commemorative events were held in Japan and Vietnam. And in that year, Fan Wan Kai came to Japan and met with Prime Minister Koizumi Junichiro, and on that occasion, both parties agreed to start Japan-Vietnam Joint Initiative to improve Vietnamese investment climate, which was proposed by Japan. Okay, it is a structure of the joint initiative. Co-chairman, Japanese ambassador to Vietnam, and the chief of the Japan-Vietnam Economic Committee of Keidanren on the Japanese side, and then the Minister of Planning and Investment on the Vietnamese side. And then the second statement in 2003, when Foreign Minister Kaguchi Yoriko came to Vietnam, he met Minister of MPL Bo Hom Fook, signed the Japan-Vietnam Investment Agreement, and in addition, okay. And in 2003, Japan ASEAN commemorative summit, that was a special summit between Japan and ASEAN countries. And on that occasion, Japanese MOFA presented policy document, new concept for Mekong region's development. And then the next year, in 2004, when Kaguchi Yoriko went to Vietnam and she met with Foreign Minister Nguyen Zinian. They issued joint statement toward a higher sphere of enduring partnership. That is a new word. Enduring partnership. 普及のパートナーシップ。And in that document again, working together, favorite catchphrase by Koizumi Shinshiro repeated. Koizumi Junichiro repeated. And in 2004, again, when Japanese leaders such as Foreign Minister Machimura-san and Prime Minister Koizumi-san went to Vientiane to attend the ASEAN-related meetings. They agreed with the leaders of CLV, the Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam government, to start the CLV Japan cooperation. And CLV 開発の三角地帯、Tamzak Fatchen, triangular development area project initiated by the three countries of CLV. The Japanese government promised to give the official assistance. And then in 2006, Japan Vietnam Science and Technology Cooperation Agreement was signed in Hanoi. And then in 2006, when Prime Minister Nguyen Tan Dung came to Japan as his official guest, he issued, together with Abe Shinzo, a new joint statement toward a strategic partnership for peace and prosperity in Asia. So here, first time in the two governments document, the word to strategic partnership was mentioned. But here, toward a strategic partnership, that means two countries did not have strategic partnership yet. The two countries would make efforts to obtain this partnership, strategic partnership, in the future, in the near future. And in the same document, two governments agreed to start officially the negotiation of the EPA, and at the same time, from the Vietnamese propose, Japan would give official assistance to three important projects. That is North-South Shinkansen, North-South Highway, and high-tech park in the suburb of Hanoi. Three big projects. And in 2006, Abe Shinzo went to Hanoi to attend the APEC summit in Hanoi. This was the first occasion when Vietnamese government hosted APEC summit. And on that occasion, bilateral meeting between Abe Shinzo and Nguyen Tan Zun again, and they reconfirmed to make efforts to obtain the strategic partnership in the near future. And then Japan-Vietnam Cooperation Committee started in 2006. And in 2007, Nguyen Minh Chet came to Japan as a state guest. He was the first state guest from Vietnam. And the bilateral meeting between President Chet and Prime Minister Fukuda Yasuo, and two documents, joint statement on the deepening relations between Japan and Vietnam, and the agenda toward a strategic partnership between Japan and Vietnam. So here again, the two countries agreed to make efforts to obtain strategic partnership in the near future. And then that was in 2008 when Foreign Minister Takamura Masahiko went to Vietnam and he signed a new agreement with the Nguyen Ten Nhan, Foreign Deputy Minister and Education Minister of Vietnam, to start the JDS, Japanese Grant Aid for Human Resource Development Scholarship. It was under the auspices of the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and JICA. And the Japanese government invited excellent young officials from Vietnam and other countries. JDS program. It is not the Kokkiri Ryugakusei by the Ministry of Education, but the JDS program under the auspices of the Commission. And in 2008, the first Vietnam festival was held in Yogi Park to commemorate the 35th anniversary of Japan-Vietnam diplomatic relations in Tokyo. And for 2 days, 150,000 visitors came to that festival. It was quite successful. And since the next year, the Vietnam Festival is held continuously up until today. So Vietnam Festival in 2010, 2011, 2015. Okay. And again, economic partnership agreement signed in 2008. And in the following year, 2009, It was the year of Japan-Mekong exchange. Various events were held not only in Japan but also in Mekong region countries. And in 2009, as I have told, Crown Prince visited Vietnam. And then, after those events in 2009, when Party Secretary General Non Dukman came to Japan and he met with Prime Minister Aso Taro, and they released a new joint statement on the strategic partnership. And in that document, the two leaders confirmed that the strategic partnership has been built between the two countries already. 日本とベトナムの間で戦略的パートナーシップはすでに構築されたと。Dadurch sei es. And after that, the change of the government from LDP to Minshito, or Democratic Party, and Hatayama Yukio cabinet was established, but he explicitly said that Japan would continue the strategic partnership together with Vietnam. And in 2009, first Japan-Mekong summit was held in Tokyo, and 3-year cooperation plan was adopted on that occasion. And in 2010, Foreign Minister Okada-san went to visit, and he agreed with the Vietnamese leaders to start Japan-Vietnam strategic partnership dialogue. Strategic partnership dialogue. Okay. As I have told, it is a vice minister level meeting between the two ministers, foreign minister and the defense minister. And when Kan Naoto, Democratic Party Prime Minister, went to Vietnam to attend the assembly-related meeting, on that occasion, he also had a bilateral meeting with the Vietnamese leaders. And on that occasion, they issued a new joint statement, Japan-Vietnam joint statement on the strategic partnership. In that document, they said they would further develop in a stronger and more comprehensive manner the strategic partnership. So that strategic partnership has been established, but they would make efforts to further develop it. And Japan-Vietnam strategic partnership dialogue. The first meeting was in 2011. And in that year, a neutral agreement, a nuclear cooperation agreement was signed between the two governments. And in 2011, a big earthquake in eastern part of Japan. And according to the Japanese Red Cross, Vietnam is number 8 country among the world to contribute the donation to Japan. And in 2011, changes of the leadership, both in Vietnam and Japan. In Vietnam, National Assembly approved new leaders, President Chon Tan-san, Prime Minister Nguyen Tan Dung, and Foreign Minister from Min. And in the case of Japan, Noda Yoshihiko cabinet was established. It was still the Democratic Party government. And in 2011, when Prime Minister Nguyen Tan Dung came to Japan, and he issued a joint statement together with Prime Minister Noda, Japan-Vietnam joint statement on the action taking under strategic partnership. That is our action plan. And then at the end of the 2012, the change of the government in Japan after the general election, LDP came back to the government. And Abe Shinzo established the second cabinet. Oh. And in 2013, 40th anniversary of Japan-Vietnam diplomatic relations, but it is a time. Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, so if nothing, then 休憩にしましょう、10分間。今、9:53ね。55。10, 5 past 10 o'clock。10時5分から次の授業を始めましょう。
はい、わかりました。
Okay, everybody has come back.
戻ってます。
So at the beginning, let me call
はい。
some students' name. ブータインホンいる？
はい、います。はい、
え
います。
はい。ちょっと遅れたね。
はい。はい、すみません。
So you can rate a little bit ね。ファン、ファン、ゾン。
はい。います。
はい。土田よしき。もってやつね。
先生、土田さんは10時半まで会議なので、多分それ以降になると思います。
もう後だね。
すみません。
Okay, so let me continue. Is it okay? So, Nam Heoni, Vietnam, Nhật Bản, vào năm 2013 này, on the occasion of the 40th anniversary. So at the beginning of that year, Abe Shinzo went to 3 ASEAN countries as his first visit to abroad after the start of the second cabinet, the new government. And the first country to visit was Vietnam. And in the meeting in Hanoi, the two leaders agreed that further advance of the strategic partnership. And in June, a big exhibition concerning Vietnam was held in Kyushu 国立博物館, Kyushu National Museum, Great Vietnam Expedition, something like this. Many important displays. And in July, the Japanese patrol boat visited the Da Nang port. So Da Nang port is very important for Vietnam to defend the South China Sea area. And Foreign Minister Pham Binh Minh came to Japan to attend the fifth Japan-Vietnam Cooperation Committee. On that occasion, he attended the Vietnamese Days in Japan opening ceremony together with some Japanese important persons such as Tanigaki-san, Minister of Law, Legal Minister, Judicial Minister, and former Prime Minister Hatoyama Yukio. And Vietnamese Days in Japan was the biggest event which Vietnamese Ministry of Foreign Affairs had organized in Japan, and various programs were held in not only Tokyo but Osaka, Kobe, Nagoya, and Fukuoka. And on that occasion, Foreign Minister Min made a speech, and he said, Vietnam-Japan relations have been in the highest stage in history. And this phrase, the highest stage in history, is repeated many times by the Vietnamese and the Japanese leaders. And then in 2013, as usual, the Vietnam Festival was held in the Yoyogi Park of Tokyo, but very special. Prince and Princess Akishinomiya attended to the opening ceremony. And then in the same year, on the occasion of the 40th anniversary of the diplomatic relations, VTV aired 3-volume documentary film, Patriot Fanbo Chow. The program was financially supported by the JICA and technically cooperated with NHK. And I was interviewed together with Professor Chong Tao in Bien Su Hoc, Hanoi. And then VTV and TBS made a joint TV drama, The Partner 100-Year Friendship, to commemorate the 40th year. It was a story of friendship between Fanbo Chow and medical doctor Asabasa Futaro, as I have mentioned already. And in the same year, in September, Defense Minister Onodera went to Vietnam, and after his meeting with important leaders of Vietnam in Hanoi, he also went to Cam Ranh Bay. That was the first occasion where Foreign Minister of Defense visited there since 1976 reunification of Vietnam, except for those from USSR and Russia. And Cam Ranh Bay is also very important for the defense of Vietnam. And Japan Festival in Vietnam, 2013, was held in Ho Chi Minh City to commemorate the 40th anniversary of Japan-Vietnam diplomatic relations. And at the end of that year, Japan hosted Japan ASEAN Special Summit and also Japan Mekong Summit. On that occasion, Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Duc visited Japan and a bilateral meeting together with Abe Shinzo. And on that occasion, the two leaders agreed that to cooperate for
はい、
the VJU plan.
私は
The
これは
VJU was not established yet, so they made an effort to realize the project.
少しはい、すみません。すみません。
This is the end. Oh, so any questions, comments so far?
先生、よりです。
はい、どうぞ。
すいません、コメントというかですね、ぜひ先生に教えていただきたいんですが、ちょっと話として聞いたことがあるんですけど、そのベトナム政府、日本
ちょっとカメラオープンにしてね。
はい。
はい。
すいません、失礼しました。すいません。聞いた話なので、確証はないんですが、日本政府の特にその与党の中では、やっぱり共産党である、社会主義であるそのベトナムに対して、あまり良い感情を持っていなかったという事実がある中、その昭和天皇が崩御されて、日本で国葬が執り行われた時に、ベトナムすいません、首相か国家主席か分かりませんが、どなたかが訪問されて、それをきっかけに、ベトナムを見る目が変わったというようなことを、聞いたことがあるんですけど、ご存知でしょうか。
いや、全然初耳でした。
そうですか。はい。
まあ、いずれにせよ、日本の首相じゃなくて、皇族がベトナムと関わりを持つってことが、とりわけ自民党の右派にとっては非常に重要なんでしょうね。そういうところは、なるほどなと納得できるけど、その今日のエピソードそのものが事実かどうか私は知りません。はい。よろしいですか。他に何か、何でもいいですよ。質問、コメントあれば、どうぞ。はい、じゃあ次のパワーポイントね。映りましたね。
映っています。
Okay, so I continue the same section from partnership to strategic partnership. And in 2014, President Chon Tan-san came to Japan as a second state guest from Vietnam. And as I have told, the state guest is always invited by Emperor and Empress. And Chon Tan-san also made a special speech at the National Diet of Japan. And the bilateral meeting together with Abe Shinzo. And on that occasion, the two leaders agreed that the two countries would have the new partnership, that is, an extensive strategic partnership, not the ordinary strategic partnership, but extensive partnership, strategic partnership. So they released a joint statement, Japan-Vietnam joint statement on the establishment of the extensive strategic partnership. 関係どういったチェンロックサウゾン。日本語では後半何になってるけど、 ベトナム語ではサウゾンですね。深く広い。Okay, details of the joint statement. I have to pass it. And on that occasion, Foreign Minister Kishida Fumio and Minister of Planning and Investment of Vietnam, Bui Bin, signed a new agreement of ODA. Including the Lac International Seaport, etc. And in 2014, on the occasion of the Shangri-La Dialogue is the kind of the important meeting concerning the national security among the Asia Pacific countries. The organizer is the English NPO, not the government. That is not the governmental meeting, but many important leaders attend to make a speech. And Abe Shinzo was invited as a keynote speaker of that year. And Defense Minister Onodera met together with the Defense Minister of Thailand, of Vietnam. And they discussed about the South China Sea program issue, conflict. And in 2014, Japan signed a new agreement with Vietnam to provide 6 used to ships, fishery ships to Vietnam. That is a grant. And those 6 ships are used for the patrol boats in Vietnam. And in 2015, Party Secretary General Nguyen Phu Trong came to Japan as a official guest, not state guest. And together with Abe Shinzo, released a new joint statement on Japan-Vietnam relations. In that document, the extensive strategic partnership is developing something like this. So they agreed that extensive strategic partnership has been established. And as I have mentioned in 2016, Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc was invited as a special guest to attend to the outreach meetings of the Ise-Shima G7 summit. And after the summit, Prime Minister Phuc came to Tokyo to have the bilateral meeting together with Prime Minister Abe. And then, as I have mentioned, in January 2017, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visited 4 countries in Asia Pacific Philippines, Australia, Indonesia, and Vietnam. And on that occasion, he made meetings with the Vietnamese leaders. And Abe-san met Furuta Sensei and the delegate of the VJ students at his hotel, as I have mentioned. And as I have repeatedly mentioned, Emperor and Empress visited Vietnam in 2017. And in 2017, Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc visited Japan, and he released a new joint statement together with Abe Shinzo on deepening the Japan-Vietnam extensive strategic partnership. So the extensive strategic partnership has been established, and so the two countries have to make new efforts to deepen it. And I was invited to the welcome dinner party by Prime Minister Abe Shinzo, and in our table, myself, Abe-san, Nguyen-san, Phuc-san, and the what's Japanese soccer leader in Vietnam, and the wife of the Japanese ambassador to Vietnam, and the wife of the Vietnamese ambassador in Tokyo, etc. And APEC Danam meeting, ministerial meeting and summit meeting, as I have mentioned already. And after the official meeting, Abe-san was invited to come to Hoi An to have the dinner with Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc, as I have mentioned. And in 2018, President Chan Dai-kwang came to Japan as a third state guest from Vietnam. So 4-year interval from from the previous occasion, that was the President San's visit to Vietnam as a state guest. 4-year interval. And on that occasion, Chan Dai-kwang and Prime Minister Abe made a new joint statement. And they agreed about the advancement of the extensive strategic partnership in every field, in all areas. And in 2019, Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc was invited to attend to the G20 Osaka summit, as I have mentioned. And in 2019, when Emperor Naruhito was enthroned in the coronation ceremony, the Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc came to Japan to congratulate Then, as I have mentioned, Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide went to Vietnam as his first destination of trip abroad after his establishment of the cabinet, as I have mentioned. And then in 2021, Kishida Fumio went to Glasgow to attend the COP26 meeting. On that occasion, he met Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh. Only Kishida-san met only 5 leaders, among them Vietnamese Prime Minister. And half a month later, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh visited Japan as the first foreign guest whom Prime Minister Kishida welcomed in Tokyo. And the two prime ministers issued a joint statement toward the opening of a new era in Japan-Vietnam extensive strategic partnerships. So still, Japan-Vietnam has the extensive strategic partnership, and the two countries would make an effort to further deepen and widen this relationship. And in that document, Kishida-san said, Vietnam is a key partner in the realization of the peace and open Indo-Pacific. So this is a favorite catchphrase by the Japanese leaders. Prime Minister Suga-san said a similar thing in the past, and then again, Kishida Fumio-san made such a kind of statement again. And President, Norma Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc came to Japan to attend the former Prime Minister Abe Shinzo's state funeral. And then Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh was invited to attend to the G7 Hiroshima summit. And as I have mentioned already, 2023, Prince and Princess Akishino made an official visit to Vietnam on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. And in 2023, President Bo Bam-tong visited Japan as the official guest, not state guest. He made a special speech at the National Diet of Japan, and he was invited by the Emperor and the Empress to have a dinner, to have a luncheon meeting, not a dinner meeting. And on that occasion, Bo Bam-tong and Kishida Fumio had a new statement to elevate the Japan-Vietnam relationship to the comprehensive strategic partnership. This is the first occasion where Japan and Vietnam promised to establish the comprehensive strategic partnership. So according to the Vietnamese ranking, 3 types of strategic partnership First is the three types of partnership. The first ranking is a comprehensive strategic partnership. And the second is a strategic partnership. And the third ranking is comprehensive partnership. It's very complicated in the terminology. But so far, Japan and Vietnam had only the strategic partnership. Extensive strategic partnership is a part of strategic partnership, not comprehensive strategic partnership yet. So before 2016, there were only three countries that Vietnam had the comprehensive strategic partnership. Those were China, Russia, and India. But after that, in 2022, Vietnam had promised to have the comprehensive strategic partnership with South Korea, with the United States in 2023, September, and with Japan in November 2023. So after Japan, then Australia, France, and Malaysia. So nowadays, 4、5、6、7、8、9. Vietnam has 9 countries to have the comprehensive strategic partnership. And Japan is the number 6 country to have this kind of relationship. And various events 2 years ago, on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of Japan-Vietnam diplomatic relations, it is really extensive list, starting with Asian Beat Fukuoka Festival, and Hanoi Japan Festival, and the special friendly soccer game between Kawasaki Frontale and Vegamex Binzon FC football club. Those were held in 2022, but the organizers said that that was the event for the 23 for the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations as a pre-event. And then in February 2023, this was the first biggest event, cultural event to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Japan-Vietnam diplomatic relations. That was the Japan-Vietnam Festival. Japan-Vietnam Festival is a kind of an annual festival. So it was the 8th occasion to have the Japan-Vietnam Festival in Ho Chi Minh City. And the outside show in Hanoi, and high-level economic seminar in Hanoi, and Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh was invited as a keynote speaker, and President of JICA, Tanaka Akihiko-san, also made a speech, and the 50th anniversary commemorative illumination in Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang, something like this. And the commemorative concert in Sakai, Osaka, organized by the Vietnamese Consulate General in Osaka. Conductor Konna Tetsuji was the conductor of that event, and some Vietnamese musicians were invited also. And the Ikebukuro Vietnam Festival That was the first occasion to have the Ikebukuro Vietnam Festival. It is a part of the Vietnam Festival in Yoyogi Roppongi. It is a spin-off event. Vietnam Festival is organized in Yoyogi Roppongi. It is the only one cultural exchange event in abroad which the Vietnamese government has officially authorized. In that year, in 2023, on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations, starting with the kick-off event in Ikebukuro, Tokyo, following the next event in Fukuoka in April, and then the main event in Yoyogi Roppongi, Tokyo, Yoyogi Park, Tokyo, in June, and then the final event is held in Osaka in June again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events are held as a chain event of the Vietnam Festival in Japan. And another Vietnam Festival was held in Fukuoka in April. And the commemorative meeting in Taihua. And the special performance of Kyogen in Hanoi, organized by the Japanese Embassy of Vietnam, in Vietnam. And then, as I have mentioned, Vietnam Festival in Yoyogi Kogen in June. Supreme advisor of that event is always Fukuda Yasuo-san, former Prime Minister. And Princess Kako, the second daughter of Akishinomiya, attended to the opening ceremony of that event. And 300,000 visitors and 140 booth shops attended the event. And the Vietnam Festival in Osaka, as I mentioned. And then Shinchao Saitama Festival, commemorative meeting in Binzon province. And Vietnam Festa in Kanagawa. So Vietnam Festival and Vietnam Festa are completely different. Vietnam Festa is always organized by the Kanagawa Prefecture. And the other spin-off events of the Vietnam Festa in Kanagawa, Kanagawa Festival in Kanagawa Festival in Da Nang and in Hanoi. All of them are organized by the Kanagawa Prefecture. And as I have mentioned, Prince and Princess Akishino made an official visit to Vietnam on the occasion of the 50th anniversary. And they visited VJU. I suppose some of you remember that kind of event. And during their visit to Vietnam, commemorative ceremony for the 50th anniversary was held in Hanoi. and Prince and Princess Akishino attended to that event. And also, Akishino and his wife attended to the opera, a new opera, Princess Anyo, which was held in Opera House of Hanoi. The same opera was repeated in Showa Joshi Daigaku, Showa Women's University in Tokyo in November. And then Vietnamese Coast Guard patrol boat visited Kobe port in October to commemorate the 50th anniversary. And it is different from the Vietnam Festival. Vietnam Fall Festival at Yogi Park was held. And 28 shops attended and 85,000 visitors during the 2 days. And the Yamanashi Prefecture had a promotion of tourism and products in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Oh, and then 50th anniversary commemorative international symposium, Japan-Vietnam Relations, Past, Present, and Future. I was invited as one of the speakers. I could not attend the meeting itself, but I attended. I joined it through the online. And again, in November of the same year, the Japan Society for Vietnam Studies annual conference and memorial lecture and panel discussion. I was the president of that association during that period. And so I was one of the panel discussant. And the Vietnam Festival in Aichi, Nagoya. So very complicated, various similar events. And Kakami Yoko, then foreign minister, made an official visit to Vietnam for 2 days in October to 2023. And the Kanagawa Festival in Da Nang, as I have mentioned. Okay. And the Kanagawa Festival in Hanoi. It was organized by Hanoi People's Committee and the Executive Committee of Vietnam Festa in Kanagawa. And as I mentioned, President Bobanton made an official visit to Japan, not a state guest. On the occasion of the 50th anniversary. And on that occasion, a new joint statement to promote the bilateral relationship to the comprehensive strategic partnership, as I have mentioned. And the Japanese embassy no. Vietnamese embassy in Japan held a commemorative ceremony for the 50th anniversary in Meiji Kinenkan, Tokyo. And President Bowanton, together with Prince and Princess Akishino, attended to the ceremony. Mira Daichi, one of the famous singers, had a song, sang a song, which was made by the emperor, retired emperor, composed by the retired empress. And Japan-Vietnam Friendship Dance Festival, which was produced by Sugi Ryotaro. And Japan-Vietnam Friendship Song, Tomodachi project. It was co-organized by the Ho Chi Minh City, organized by the Executive Committee, Ho Chi Minh City, of commemorative events. And among 800 participants from the whole country, whole nation of Vietnam, and 5 excellent students were chosen to visit Japan. So they were invited and exchanged with Japanese children. And the concert was a great finale for the 50th anniversary at the Imperial Citadel of Tan Long, Hanoi. And Honna Tetsuji-san was a conductor again. And high-level seminar to commemorate the 50th anniversary, jointly organized by Ho Chi Minh National Academy of Politics in Hanoi and Japanese Embassy in Vietnam. And the keynote speaker was Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh. And next year, in March 2024, as a part of the commemorative event of the 50th anniversary, NHK drama, Sound of Vietnam, was made and televised. That was the drama depicts the love of music beyond the nation, and the position as well as family ties through the exchange between a Japanese conductor and Vietnamese orchestra members. Okay, a Japanese conductor, the model is Honna-san, but his face is not similar to Honna-san so much. Anyway. So as I have mentioned, from partnership, ordinary partnership to strategic partnership, extensive partnership, and finally, a comprehensive partnership has been established between the two countries. So, okay, that is the time. Any question?
はい、
はい、はい
ファンです。ちょっと、変な質問しちゃってもよろしいですか？
どうぞ。
はい、どうして、なんていうんですかね、どうしてベトナムはそんなに経済的に強い、国でもないし、なんていうんですかね、どうしてそんなに昔から結構何十年も続く関係で、そんなに特別な、パートナーになれたと、先生は考えるんですか？
そうですね、非常に いい質問だね。まあ、いろんな、回答の仕方があると思うけど、一つは、ベトナムがやっぱり中国に隣接してる。
うん。
The country next to China.
はい。
And Vietnam has a conflict with China,
うん。
the China Sea.
うん。
日本は東シナ海で、Japan has a conflict with China,
うん。
surrounding 尖閣列島、
ええ。
in East China Sea ね。
うんうん。
This is a kind of the similar geographical location.
うん。
もう一つ、the next answer is Vietnam is a developing country, one of the most important developing countries. ベトナムが発展途上国の中で最も重要な発展途上国の一つだ。One of them. One of the most important developing countries. So, as a matter of fact, Vietnam is the first country and only followed by the other Indo-Chinese countries such as Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar.
うん。東南アジアの中ですよね。
Vietnam is a newcomer of
うん。
ASEAN.
うん。
ASEAN is number one among the newcomers.
うん。
うん。
はい。
ベトナムはASEAN に新しく加盟した国の中では一番発展している。例えば、
うん。
So, for instance, 他に何かある Any other reasons?
ああ、自分もそう思いました。ベトナムはやっぱり位置的には、ロケーション的には、いろいろ有利かなっていうふうに自分も考えました。それと、その中国の、との関係で、ライバルのライバルは友達ってところで、感心しました。
まあそうだね。まあそういう一面があるね。
なるほど。あの、えっと、じゃあ、その関係を築いて保っていく、なんていうんですか、ことで、結構お金もいろいろかかると思うんですけど、望まれることっていうか、例えば、ベトナム側は、日本にいろいろ、お金貸してもらったり、いろいろ助けていただいてるので、わかるんですけど、日本側としては、どうしてこの関係を、なんていうんですかね、そんなに、えっと、力入れて、お金とかも入れて、保てようとしてるのでしょうか。
まあだから今後とも東アジアにおいて
うん。
ベトナムがいい友達
うん。
であるということは中国との対抗上ね。
ああ。じゃあ、
Concerning the
うん。
Japanese relations with China,
ええ。
Japan wants to have Vietnam as a good country,
うん。
friendly country.
ええ。
That's very important ね。
ええ。じゃあ、地域的な、地位の、維持と、地域の、安全を、それと、経済的にはどうでしょうか。例えば、今、日本にベトナム人が、いっぱい働いてると思うんですけど。
そういう、まあ、人的交流とか経済の面でもね、
うん。
日本の FDI、日本の対ベトナム投資は非常に活発だし、
うん。
君が今言ったように、日本にいるベトナム人もたくさんいるし、
うん。ええ。
留学生も多いしね。
でもやっぱりその経済的な面よりもやっぱり政治的な面の方が意味が大きい。
私はそう思いますね。
わかりました。はい、ありがとうございます。
それから、今までのところ、日本の ODA ね、ODA にしても、ベトナムは one of the most important countries ね。昔はナンバーワン、ナンバーツー country、ナンバーワン、ナンバーツー destination。最近はちょっとランキング起こってきたけど、それでもやっぱり日本の外務省やJICA にとってもベトナムはその援助対象国として 今までずっと重要だったってことが大きいね。
うん。わかりまし
で
た。
日本側としてはいつまでもベトナムが日本に対して感謝の気持ちを忘れない。
うん。
Don't forget to say thank you. コン
うん。
サーニング ODA ね。と思ってる。Japan expect Vietnam
うん。
to say thank you forever ね。
うん。
As for China, Thailand, Japan gave a tremendous amount of ODA to China and Japan, but after those countries graduated from the recipient status, they did not say, they do not say thank you again.
あ、それはちょっと
中
ひどい。
国やタイに対してはね、たくさん今まで ODA を与えてきたけど、それらの中国やタイが日本からの ODA がもう必要なくなったら、もうサンキュー言わないのね。
うん。
とってもそういうのに対して日本は、面白くないと思う。
うん。
過去の、過去のそういう恩義はいつまでも感謝として覚えていてほしいと思う。
ええ。私もそう思います。
え
ありがとうございます。
他に何かはい。じゃあ土田さんはもう来たかな。まだまだ到着してない。はい、わかりました。
まだのようです。はい。
じゃあ今から、休憩にしましょう。今は11時2分ってことかな。
はい。
じゃあ11時10分から8分間しかなくていいかな。
11時10分。はい。承知しました。
everybody has come back? 土屋さんはまだ来てないね。はい。じゃあ今、新しいパワーポイントを共有しましたが、映ってますか？ Can you see the PowerPoint?
見えてます。
はい。Okay, then let's continue. Now the new section that is 5D, Japan and Vietnam in the region's multilateral relationship. Okay. Since the 1970s, Japan has placed importance on cooperation with ASEAN as a regional organization, and Vietnam became ASEAN's regular member in 1995. In addition, during the 1990s, many regional and interregional gatherings frameworks were established in East Asia and Asia Pacific. And Japan and Vietnam are the members of those frameworks, such as ASEAN Plus One, ARF, Mekong Japan or Japan Mekong, ASEAN Plus 3, EAS, East Asia Summit, APEC, ASEM, etc. So, of course, it is not only Vietnam, but other countries in Southeast Asia and in Asia Pacific that Japan and that country, those countries are the members of the same regional and interregional organizations, but Vietnam is one of them. That's very important. Okay. So then regional and interregional organizations as concentric circles surrounding Vietnam-Japan bilateral relations as such. So Vietnam-Japan relations at the bottom, and the Mekong-Japan next, ASEAN plus Japan, and beyond that, ASEAN plus 3, EAS, ARF, and even wider, ASEM, APEC. And in addition, various global organizations such as the United Nations and World Bank institutions as biggest circles. For example, on the occasion of the 2006 APEC in Hanoi, of course, Prime Minister Abe Shinzo attended to the APEC meeting. After that, he and during that meeting, he had various bilateral meetings. But after that, Abe-san had bilateral meetings with Vietnamese leaders as well in Hanoi. And for the case of ASEAN Plus meetings in Hanoi in October 2010, after attending ASEAN Plus 3 summit and other ASEAN-related meetings in Hanoi, Prime Minister Kan Naoto made an official visit to Vietnam, meeting with Vietnamese leaders. And as for the case of 2016, as I have mentioned, in May of that year, Prime Minister Nguyen Sang Phuc was invited to as a special attendance to the outreach meetings of the G7 Ise Summit summit. And after that, after Ise Shima, Prime Minister Phuc came to Tokyo to have the bilateral meeting with Abe Shinzo. And in July of the same year, in Ulaanbaatar, Mongol, Prime Minister Abe talked with Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc again about 30 minutes. So not only the mutual meeting, but also the Japanese and Vietnamese leaders have the various occasions other than mutual visit, such as the APEC meeting, ASEAN-related meeting, which are held in other countries than Japan and Vietnam. And then in September of the same year, Abe-san and Nguyen San Phuc-san attended to the ASEAN-related meetings which were held in Vientiane, Laos. And the two leaders met together as a side event. And again, in November of the same year, APEC summit was held in Peru. And Prime Minister Abe Shinzo and President Chan Dai-kwan attended to that meeting, and they held a bilateral meeting on that occasion as one of the side events. And as I have mentioned, in November 2017, the Da Nang APEC summit, Da Nang meetings, ministerial meeting, and then summit meeting. And after that, Nguyen San Phuc was invited by Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc, Abe Shinzo-san was invited by Prime Minister Prime Minister Nguyen San Phuc to come down to Hoi An to have a bilateral dinner meeting, as I have mentioned already. And then one of the sub-regional meetings, that was Mekong-Japan Cooperation. And in that Mekong-Japan or Japan-Mekong Dialogue or Japan-Mekong Cooperation, Vietnam is one of the members, as I have told. And continental Southeast Asia was divided during Cold War period. During that period, Vietnam was divided into two, North Vietnam and South Vietnam, plus Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar. And Laos and Cambodia had civil wars inside the country, as you know well. So during that Cold War period, only one regional organization, that was the Committee for Coordination of Investigation of the Lower Mekong Basin. That is Old Mekong Committee. And it was established in 1957 with a strong initiative of United States and Taiwan. And members were only Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and South Vietnam, no North Vietnam. North Vietnam was not a member. And in addition, from the early 1960s, the committee became inactive due to war situation in China. And after the peace agreement on Cambodia in 1991, several initiatives for cooperation among continental Southeast Asian countries started, such as GMS, Greater Mekong Sub-Region Cooperation, initiated by ADB in 1992. So Greater American Sub-Region Corporation, GMS Corporation, is one of the important initiatives up until today. And the Old Mekong Committee was also revitalized as a new organization, MRC, Mekong River Commission, in 1995. The members are Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Unified Vietnam. Another headquarters of MRC, Secretariat, is located in Vientiane, Laos. And since the Cambodian peace, Japanese government increased bilateral ODA for the post-war recovery of Indo-Chinese countries. And Japan also started taking initiative to appeal for international concerns on economic recovery of Indo-Chinese countries, such as with Prime Minister Kai-Fu Toshiki's proposal, Japan hosted minister conference for Cambodian restoration in Tokyo in 1992. And after that, others succeeding following this, in 1993, with the Japanese government's initiative, the first meeting of ICOC was held in Tokyo. That is International Committee on the Reconstruction of Cambodia. And this organization is succeeded by the CZ meeting on Cambodia, consultative group meeting on Cambodia, Thai Cambodia Shenkoku Kaigi. And as for Vietnam, the first Vietnam CZ meeting was held in Paris, thanks to the efforts of two governments of Japan and France. And then with the initiative of Prime Minister Miyazawa Keiichi's proposal, Japan hosted the minister meeting of Forum for Comprehensive Development of Indochina, FCDI, in Tokyo. Only one minister meeting was held for that kind of forum. The activities of this forum have been completely stopped right now. And this is an initiative by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. And another initiative comes from the Ministry of Commerce and Economy of Japan, ASEAN meeting, the economic minister meeting of set up working group to support CLMV. It is only a working group. But in 1999, AMEC was newly established. That is AEM Meta Economic and Industrial Cooperation Committee. It is a cooperation committee, not a working group. And AMEC is still active up until today. And then Japan started the CLV Japan Corporation. And CLV Japan Prime Minister, Summit and Foreign Minister level was organized from 2004. And the meetings were always held with back-to-back formula. Back-to-back formula means when ASEAN-related meetings are held, then Japan CLB meeting is held as a side event. So Japan CLV summit was held 3 times, and foreign minister meetings five times. And then it is now stopped. Japan CLV Corporation is succeeded by Japan Mekong Corporation right now. And as for the meeting of the Japan CLV, as I have mentioned, 開発の三角地帯 Development Triangle Plan by CLV was always the main subject of our agenda. I don't know. You have known about the CLV Development Triangle. It is located in the border provinces of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. So only the Central Highland provinces are the targets of this cooperation. And then Mekong plus Japan Mekong cooperation started on the occasion of the Japan ASEAN Special Summit, which was held in December 2003. Japanese Foreign Ministry of Foreign Ministry presented policy document, new concept of Mekong region development. And in that document, the Foreign Ministry mentioned the Mekong region, in which all the new members countries of ASEAN are located. The Mekong region is pivotal for further ASEAN's integration. The region possesses potential for economic growth, and it is essential to the stability and prosperity of the whole of Asia, as it is adjacent to other ASEAN countries and China and India. So, Mekong region is adjacent to other ASEAN countries. It is adjacent to China and India. That means ASEAN countries minus other ASEAN countries. That is Mekong sub-region. So regional concept of cooperation of Mekong implies 5 countries in continental Southeast Asia, CLMV and Thailand. And then in 2007, Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a new document that is the Japan Mekong Region Partnership Program. And Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs decided to start a cooperation framework, including all of 5 continental Southeast Asian countries, not only 3 countries, CLV, but also CLMV plus Thailand. And the first minister meeting, foreign minister meeting, was held in the next year, in January 2008. And all the participants agreed that the next year, the following year, the year 2009, should be Mekong Japan Exchange Year. And many events, about 500 events were held to commemorate the Japan Mekong in Japan and 5 continental Southeast Asian countries. And in 2009, not only the foreign minister meeting, but also economic minister meeting and summit meetings were held. And on the occasion of the first Japan Mekong Summit in Tokyo, Mekong Japan Action Plan 63 was adopted. 63 means including 63 programs, not the year of 63. And Mekong Japan, and it is also agreed that the Mekong Japan Summit meeting is held in Japan in every 3 years and adopts a new 3-year action plan. And other meetings, other summit meetings and foreign minister, economic minister meetings are always held in Southeast Asian cities as a back-to-back formula. And in 2010, Mekong Japan Symposium on Ancient Capitals. That was a commemoration of Nara 1000th anniversary of Hanoi and 1300th anniversary of Heijō-kyo, capital is Nara, and 405th anniversary of Vientiane, capital of Laos. And in the second summit in 2010, the participants agreed the action plan for a decade towards the Green Mekong Initiative, and also the Mekong Japan Economic and Industrial Cooperation Initiative Action Plan. The first one, Green Mekong, is an initiative by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. MJCI is initiated by the Japanese economy, the Ministry of Economy. So always Japan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Japan Ministry of Economic and Industry are rivals concerning various cooperation initiatives, not only in Mekong but also in Southeast Asia and in other countries. As for the case of APEC minister meeting, not only the Minister of Economy of Japan, but also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs always attend to the meetings. Sometimes for the case of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that only Vice Minister, not the Minister himself. But anyway, in principle, the participants toward APEC are not only the Ministry of Economy, but Ministry of Foreign Affairs also. That is a reflection of the rivalry between the two ministries in Japan. And in 2012, the fourth summit of Japan Mekong in Tokyo. So every 3 years, they agreed to Tokyo Strategy 2012 for Mekong Japan cooperation. That is again 3-year strategy. And then the 7th summit in Tokyo, new Tokyo Strategy 2015. And 2018 at the 10th summit in Tokyo, Tokyo Strategy 2018. And in that document, 3 new pillars of Mekong Japan cooperation. 3 pillars: effective connectivity, people-centered society, and then Green Mekong, that is an environmental thing. And 2019, the next year, is the second Mekong Japan exchange year, and various events. And Mekong Fair is one of the events. And the 11th summit in Tokyo, the Mekong Japan initiative for SDGs toward 2030. But one footnote: during the corona epidemics, COVID-19 pandemics, then summit meeting of Mekong Japan was not held, and the foreign minister meeting became quite irregular. I don't know about the fate of economic minister meeting that was not held, I suppose. On the 2024, Mekong Japan foreign minister was felt after the absence of this kind of meeting in the previous years. And instead of the summit meeting, the foreign minister meetings adopted a new strategy, Mekong Japan Cooperation Strategy 2024, to succeed the Tokyo Strategy 2018. And I don't know when the Japan Mekong Summit will be held again in the future. Mm. So I continue. 5E. I think that will be for the next tomorrow. I don't know, but anyway, the time is always the time is up. 10 more minutes.
今、日本は11時40分です。
ということは、もうあと1時間あるの
10分ですね。
?10分で今日の授業は終わり？
はい。
今11時40分だよね。東京時間で13時39分だから。
はい、そうです。
だからあと10 more minutes. So, any questions, comments? I don't. I'm afraid that we have no enough time to appoint all the students one by one. But any questions, comments so far? 何か質問、コメントないかな？辻田さんは来た？まだ？
はい、入ってます。はい。今、車の中です。
車の中で見てる。
はい。11時過ぎから入れました。はい。
じゃあ、9人全部が今、 出席してるわけだが、何か今までのところで質問ありませんか？ありますか？ありますかと聞くべきだね。じゃあ、いいでしょうか。
はい。
でもまあ、せっかくだから、土田さん何か質問コメントない？聞いてないかな？車運転中じゃ無理か。
今、ちょっと降りてですね。không. Tôi thầu ngồi trước cái này nè. Anh cứ mở cửa để đổ. Anh ngồi. すいません、今、ちょっと途中で止まったところで。私今日運転しなくて、今、後ろに座ってるだけなんですけども。
そうか、運転手がいるんだね。あなた
今日は、はい。
はい。じゃあ、質問コメント今ありませんか？
質問コメント。じゃあ日本はそのメコンの開発では今もかなり重要な役割を果たし続けているという感じでしょうか？
そうですね。このODA のところで、日本のメコン協力、とりわけ、東西回廊、南北回廊に東西回廊と南部回廊についての、援助ってことを述べましたが、それが終わっちゃうと、あとはそれほどでもないのかな。
でもちろんその、歴史的にですね、もちろんカンボジアとラオスは、ベトナムの、子分のようなですね、弟分みたいな感じだったところがですね、中国の、ODA 構成で、相当中国なびかれながらベトナムはそう頑張ってラオスとカンボジアとの引き続き親密さと関係維持をですね続けていると思うんですけれども、ちょっと日本の影がですね最近私見えないなと思ってたんですけれども、今の聞くとまだまだ日本も頑張ってここを、取り組もうとしているというところですね。
メコン協力に関してはもともとアメリカが始めた、メコン下流地域なんたらかんちゃらっていうね、これはASEAN 関連外相会合の際にアメリカが呼びかけて、関連国に呼びかけて集まるという、そういう情報交換の会議じゃないんだけど、あと日本としかなかったんだけど、さらに最近は中国がね、中国とメコン諸国の間の、サミットだとか外相会議を定期的に開くようになってますね。これは中国のですか。だからそういう形で、今まではメコン協力に関しては日本がリードして思われたのが、最近では中国がかなり影が強くなってるってことは言えますね。
で今ちょうどメコンデルタで100万ヘクタールのですねお米のですね品質を上げるっていうのを世銀がリードしてやっていてですね、でそこに、日本側もですねどうやってそこに入れるか取り組めるかなんていうのもありますけれども、
そうですよね。いずれにせよ、
もちろんその関東大学に対する JICA の ODA でですね、もちろんその日本政府もすごくメコンデルタの根を張ってですね、やってるんですけど、いろんな各国が、いろんな支援したいというところで、その中で、日本としてはどうやってプレゼンスを持つかなんていうところでもありますよね。
メコン下流域になるとオランダもね、結構関心を持ってますね。やっぱり海に
そうですね。
そうな地域ってことで、
オランダでは経験が
温暖化の中でメコン下流域ってのはいつ水没しちゃうか分かんないから、
オランダと
その運河建設とかなんとかでね、
同じ問題を抱えていると。
国土を守るという同じ問題を抱えているというんで、オランダが結構積極的ですね。今ご縁があってメコンデルタの方によく、来てましてですね、大変感動しております。 日本政府としても自分の国だけじゃ、力足らずの部分があるから、そういうふうに地域間協力とか、あるいは世銀だとかね、国連とか、それの関係するようなプロジェクトとタイアップして協力しながらやっていきたいっていう、そういう、インセンティブっていうのは常にありますね。
JICA もいろんな支援してばらまいたので、それに日本企業とかですね、大学とかですね、そういったところがもっともっと来てくれると嬉しいみたいな感じではありますよね。
だからメコンデルタに関しては関東大学以外に最近は安山大学ね。
はい、農学部があって、
いろんな支援をしたりしてますね。
そうですね。
他にいいですか？
はい、ありがとうございます。
どうもありがとう。なんか他に質問、コメントありませんかね？あと4、5分残ってますが。もしもなければ終わりにしますが、よろしいかね？ Is that okay?
はい。
じゃあ、少しまだ早いけど、今日はここで終わりにしましょうか。
はい、先生。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。